Hello everyone, my name is Rajesh Kumar Bhavani. I am from Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Hyderabad, and I am working as an assistant professor in Department of Information Technology. And today I would like to discuss about a topic called resume preparation, which is very important for freshers' point of view. And resume is a very important terminology in interview aspect. So here I choose my topic as a basics of resume preparation for freshers, because freshers feel very difficulty about the resume preparation because they don't know what points to keep and what points to remove and what to add and how to improvise, and they don't know. And moreover, students go for the copy paste resumes, and which is doesn't create the first impression in interviewer point of view. So let us see the slides. So this is our first slide, and in this slide we are going to discuss about the purpose of the resume. So what is the purpose of resume? The resume's main purpose is to get an interview. So unless you are going to the interview, you don't need of preparing any kind of resume. But when you are ready for the interview, and this resume is more important. So it is often the first item a potential employer sees about you, and therefore is very important in selection process. So selection process, this resume creates the first impression on you. So the employer look at your basic details from the resume only. Company won't call you first time and they will ask you all your basic details. They need your details from a document format. So that document, we call it as a resume. So here, a resume is a short descriptive account of your experience, education, qualifications, achievements, and special skills. So previously we have discussed about only basic details we are providing to the company. But why? What is the purpose of mentioning the experience, education, qualifications, achievement, special skills, and what is the purpose of each one? So in this presentation, we are going to experience the purpose of these experience, education, qualification, achievements, and special skills. So resume is a document. Resume is a document which introduces you to the industry as a professional for an interviewer. So interview is the mediating event to introduce you to the industry as a professional. Remember this word professional, and we'll come to know what is the importance of this professional term. So in this slide, we are going to discuss about the resume can be used in the following ways. So resume is mainly useful to network with others, including at career fairs. So here I mean to say career fairs is like a job fairs or off-campus interviews, etc. So here we should be recognize ourselves with the help of this resume. Next point, to be submitted along with the employer job application form or cover letter as you apply for open positions. So before producing your resume, you must be aware of the open positions in the company. Otherwise, you can't prepare the effective resume to your presentation. And one more thing is to be taken to a job interview. Without resume, if you go and approach the company, they won't accept you directly to have an interview. They want to check your all kinds of details, whatever we mentioned in the previous slide, and if they impressed with those details, then the company is ready to take you to the interview. So interview is an event which you face physically, but before you reach the company physically, your resume should be in their database and it should be impressive. And last point is to be coupled with the dynamic online presence such as Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn profile, etc. So nowadays, social media is a booming one, and with the social media, we can get lot many contacts. And when we are approaching as a professional, even the social media helps us in all the ways, and with help of these accounts, and you will be in a dynamic online presence to a company. So company will definitely check your social media profiles and they will filter you and they will decide how professional you are. So resume should be prepared in a reverse chronological order. So what is a reverse chronological order? So it starts with your current experiences. So latest to old. So it starts with your current experiences and then goes back in time chronologically. Because now you are in 2021, you are not a student. So once you complete your graduation, you will become a graduate. So as a graduate, what you did? What is your education? What is your qualification? And which group you studied? And which subject you focused? And in that, how much proficient you are? Moderate level, beginner level, or expert level. So these things they must know before they call you to the interview. And most employees prefer this resume format only. And this is a sample format which I have given to you people for example only. So I don't say this is the right one and accept this. If we prepare any other format, it is not valid. Like those words, I don't use. So hope you all understand what I'm saying. Reverse chronological order is goes back in time chronologically. So 2021, you worked somewhere and you did your internship in some company. And before that, you worked as a class representative in your third year. And second year, did you have any achievements? And are you a student of the year in first year, etc. So according to your academics, do you have any track record? So you can mention it in a time chronological order. So coming to the next slide, and we are discussing a very major sections of resume in this slide, and those are personal information, objective, summary of qualifications, education, skills, awards and activities. And these sections are sometimes mandatory in your resume. That's why I mentioned major sections of resume. Major sections of resume. So this will be in any kind of order. You can keep the personal information at last, and if you want to mention the objective first, you can mention. And do you want to down the summary after your skills, and you can do that. So like this, in any order, you can present your resume with the respective details, but these sections are major in resume preparation. So do not neglect or do not avoid any one of the section, especially for freshers, and these are basic. Hope you will understand, and you will come to know what is the detailed explanation of each section. So first, personal information. Why personal information is needed in resume? So personal information means you no need to say all your personals in your resume. It is about your name should stand out, a complete name which is available in the certificates for your identification. Because in resume, you can't keep your ID cards, etc. So you should mention your name in a professional manner, how you represent in the certificates. And it can vary placement of name, gender, address, phone number, email address. So these things may vary, because if you want to improvise, like you can, if the address is changed from Hyderabad to Bangalore and you want to keep the Bangalore address, you can keep. And you no need to bother about the address and email address, etc., because these things can keep on changing according to our situations. So everyone should be aware of it, and they should be with the updated name, like updated address, phone number, email address. So these should be updated. And name, it won't change. Gender, it won't change. So these are the details which can vary accordingly, especially address, phone number, email address. And this is a very important point. List only one phone number in your resume, because more numbers, the situation becomes more complicated. And use only one number in one phone when you are applying for a job and when you forwarded your resume to the corporate level, because at any time they may try to call you for the interview and you should attend the call without fail. And use professional email address. Professional means your name, your initial, your degree, or your some 4 digits of identification numbers should look professionally. So professional means which is not informal. So informal email addresses are not allowed in the resume, and while preparing the resume, do not keep any kind of informal email addresses which you use for general purpose. So try to create a new professional email address, and this professional email address should be same when you are applying to any number of companies. And in certain cases, and Indian like religions, you can mention it. It depends, and this is not mandatory, but personal details is mandatory. Hope you'll understand and clear with this slide. And let me explain the next slide about objective. So objective is one more a major section of resume, and in short and sweet, it is preferred if you are using your resume to apply for specific position. If you know to what job you are applying, and you should be very specific with your objective, then only you can impress the interviewer to call you for the selection process. Example. So seeking position as accountant, and I work for Accenture. So if you are already work for Accenture and you are seriously looking for an accountant job, and you can clearly mention that, like, seeking position as accountant and I work for Accenture. So in this a simple sentence, you conveyed your details very clearly that you work for Accenture for some, like whether it is a 3 months of time, don't bother about it, but mention it, and it will create some like a good impression in interviewer point of view. And if you are taking your resume to a career fair or uploading it to a website, then the objective should be general. Why? Because you don't know the specific position of the organization, and that's why the objective should be general. So general in a sense, Example, seeking full-time accounting position. Any type of accounting position you are interested in any company, especially while you are going to the career fairs and while you are uploading your details in website, and you should use this general objectives only, because any company may see it and any company may call you for the interview based on your resume details. If they are impressed with your resume, and you will definitely get a call, and you should be ready to attend the interview. And definitely believe me, and if you attend the interview confidently, you will get selected. So our next section is summary of qualifications. So what is this qualifications? So as we are educated, and we should have a profile. So either we can call it as a profile, qualifications, or highlights. If you completed a BTech in information technology, it is a highlighting point because you completed it and you didn't fail in it. So interviewer treat you as a professional because you have successfully completed a graduation and now you are ready to work. So if work is your necessity, and nobody can stop your opportunity. So the resume should be tailored to the job in question via the job description. So here what they are saying, your qualification should question them to hire you. Example, say here, blends academic training in social work with 3 years of experience of working with diverse clientele and adept at interviewing, report writing, and problem solving, and he is professional, collaborative, and committed. So one sentence clears all the interviewer's doubt that he must treat him as a professional only, because he kept the sentence in a very serious manner, that he conveyed all his interest towards his job. And after your qualifications, you can start mentioning about the education. So education, it's a most recent degree or current study listed first, etc., etc. Because if you are studying BTech, you must mention BTech as your first point, and +2 is your second point, and 10th standard is your third point, and in which institution and how much percentage you have gained, etc. And these things you must mention in the resume, and to create a very nice impression on you. So if you are pursuing your graduation, not an issue, then also you can create your resume by your own, and you can say that I'm still studying, I'm at the last year of my graduation, and I'm interested to work after immediate completion of my graduation. So in that case, you should say the expected date of graduation. So when your graduation is about to complete. And next, you list options, minors, and certificates, etc., and which is present with you. So don't mention any false information in resume. If those documents is not with you, try to avoid mentioning it in your resume. So now let's talk about the skills. So this is a 5th section of our resume, and which is a major one, and skills is very much important to mention in your resume. It will become an advantage to you. When compared to the others, why should the company call only you? You should have some special skill. What is that? It may be a general soft skill. Example, proactive approach, and you are ready to work in teams, and you have some experience, and you are good in analytical thinking. So companies are prefer analytical thinking fellows, and as well as those who are willing to work in teams, and as well as who are having proactive approach, and especially those who are having experience. So many freshers may know it. Companies will prefer experienced people first and freshers next. But don't worry, as a fresher also, you can prove yourself and you get into that opportunity very easily if you prepare an effective resume. And in the second point, we must mention a computer or technical skills. So technical skills, which is closely related to the technology. Nowadays, the complete world is running around the technology. Without technology, even we can't sleep and we can't wake. So we must mention what are the computer programs you know. So how good you are in computer operating. So what are the applications you can operate very easily. So those things, if you can mention it in computer or technical skills, then the interviewer will understand, the person who is going to interview you will understand, okay, in these topics he is very much proficient, and we can ask doubts, we can ask questions on it and he can answer it or not. Because based on his questions, they will clearly understand whether you are capable to work in these applications or not. If you are not capable, and you won't be selected. And if you are capable and if you are confident enough to answer all those questions, and you are in. And also mention the language skills, because many MNC companies are having their branches in national wide and international wide. So if they want to send you to abroad, if they want to send you to the other country out of India, then they will check your language skills. If you are good enough Spanish, and they may send to you like Spain. And if you are good in Japanese, if their branch is present in Japan, they will send you to there. And they will provide you other advantages also towards your salary, as well as incentives and etc. etc. So this language skills is also one of the major skill you must mention in your resume for getting an opportunity by filtering others. So here, as a last section, we are discussing about the awards and activities. Why should we mention these awards and activities at last? Because you should not create hype to your resume. It should be created automatically. So while checking the previous sections, he will come to understand and he will get some idea about you. And finally, if you present the awards and activities what you have performed, and that will create a great impression in interviewer's mind, and he will definitely call you and interview you in that positive manner only. So resume will create you the first impression. So we all know that in English there is a proverb called first impression is the best impression. Don't forget it. So in awards and activities, what are the points you can mention in your resume while preparing it? It includes the memberships in campus and community organizations. So it may be your college campus or wherever like you worked and that company campus, etc. And are you involved in any community organizations? They will check your nature of help is there or not. So if there is no helping nature also, they doesn't bother about it. But if it is there, they will treat you as a additional advantage. And make special note if you held an activity, if you are involved in performing some activity, and if it is get success and it was done really good, and don't forget to mention it in resume at the awards and activities section. And this is a very important point. No need to mention the dates, because dates are not required. And you will come to know like why we no need to mention the dates. If you are very perfect and if you are very good in remembering the dates and days, and you can mention the dates also, and it's not a problem. And don't forget to list national associations, if any, because if the association is like the industries are associated with the government, and when you worked for those organizations voluntarily, and kindly please mention it in your resume, and it will definitely give a reward. And if listing a scholarship, indicate its name and who awarded it to you, and if there is any sponsors who supported you for your education, etc., and do mention it in the resume, and it will be added advantage to you, and it will maintain the weightage to your resume. And don't forget employee of the month, or also like student of the month. Student of the month in your campus, as well as employee of the month in your office work. So these kind of achievements will create a great impression. So you should not miss this chance. So that's it. We have discussed about the major sections of the resume, and in that we understood what are all the points we can include and we should not include, etc., etc. And now in this slide we are going to discuss about the formatting tips. So what is formatting tips? You must frame your sentences in a beautiful manner. It is called presentation. So presentation is very important, and if you don't present the sentences well, and how good it is and how great it is, they won't consider it because you are careless in your presentation. So be careful while presenting your resume and while formatting it. So what are the formatting tips we can use? So use one font and same size throughout document. So font in a sense, Arial, Arial Black, Times New Roman. So these are the font names which are available in our Microsoft Word application. So choose only one font and continue that same font in your whole document. So this produces a good weightage to the resume preparation. And use bold to emphasize only the most important features of your resume. So if I said like major sections, and you can keep it as a bold, because under those sections you will mention it with some same font but little bit less in size. And acceptable types of sizes are font number 10, 11 and 12 are the acceptable sizes in resume formatting. And be consistent with tabs, dates and other formatting features. So the alignment should be same and it should look good, and every sentence should be justified. And length is only important if you are handling the hard copy of the resume, in case it should be 1 or 2 full pages. So it is not important that you must carry 10 pages of resume for an interview. So length is not important. The information which you present in the document is more important. And decide on overall design scheme like bullets and paragraphs. If any points have occurred in middle, so don't leave it like just as a blank points. So use this bullets and keep the sentences in a paragraph manner, like this gives a very good look to the resume. And make the resume professional looking and inviting to read. So while looking at your resume, the people should show the interest to read the information in it. And if they grab that information, if they are impressed in about the information present in it, and you will definitely get a call from any kind of MNC, and you may achieve your dream job even at first time. So that's all about my presentation regarding the resume preparation for freshers, and I hope this presentation is helpful to you to prepare your resume by your own. And let me explain a summary of important points which I have discussed with you now. So remember that the importance of the resume is to get an interview. So the only purpose of the resume is like work as a gate pass to an interview. Without resume, you can't go there. So after you enter into the company, if you don't have a resume also, it's not a problem because they already have a copy of it and they will look after it. And if you carry your resume like certificates, and it would be fine. And required resume elements including personal info, objective, education, work experience, etc. And these are the major sections we have discussed in detail, and I hope you all understood it. And never include false information on resume. This point I highlighted before also, and we should not provide any false information in our resume. It may get us into a trouble. Be consistent with your format and allowing no typos or grammatical errors. So typos means typing errors, and grammatical errors means errors in English language. So we should not encourage these two, and the format should be consistent in a uniform manner. And do not copy others' resume to prepare your resume. So try to keep some idea about preparing the resume and create your own, and it will create a good impression. And tailor your resume to particular job you are applying for. So tailor means modify. So modify your resume. Don't hesitate to modify your resume according to a particular job, specific job, if you know what position is vacant there. So this is very important. And use cover letter to sell yourself and add value to your resume. So treat yourself as a product and try to sell yourself and as much as you can. And if you use the cover letter along with your resume, and definitely it will add value to your resume, and because it will be treated as a professional approach. Thank you so much. And this is my presentation about basics of resume preparation for freshers. And thanks for giving this opportunity to Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Hyderabad. And all of you, stay home and stay safe.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.